People don't always remember your victories. They don't remember all the good things.
Margaret Court has won 18 major tournaments this year, including the Australian, French, and Wimbledon championships.
Margaret Court certainly has a super record.
Play.
She's the champion and people are going after her.
That's the match.
She was difficult to play against because she had such long arms.
We called her the arm because she's got a short-waisted and long arms.
They didn't call me the arm for no reason.
Great shot.
Those long arms. She seems to be like Rubber Man out there.
What I want to know is, can Margaret Court cook?
Back then, it wasn't quite the same as it is now. You had to really do something to be noticed.
Margaret Court won the Australian Championship for the first time when she was 17.
Outside.
For the first time, the women's prizes will equal the men's.
How about that?
How about that backlash?
She was the first woman to have a baby and then come back top level of playing tennis.
No children were allowed in the locker rooms. So when I went to take the baby and I was told the baby wasn't allowed in there, things were changing.
But the Grand Slam, you're going to make it a target this year?
And just play it by ear and see how I go.
I often look back and think, I wonder if I'd ever played tennis if I hadn't lived across the road from 24 grass tennis courts. My family had no money. We didn't own our own home. We didn't have a car. In those early years, there was alcohol with my dad there, and my escape was to the outdoors. My first racket was a paling off the fence. People would say to me, what do you want to do? I'd say, I want to be the first Australian woman to win Wimbledon. Well, if you look at me, this skinny, scrawny country kid, we had no money to go anywhere. Well, I was only 15 when I first went down to Melbourne, and Frank Sedgman said, well, she's skinny, scrawny, she'll need to go to gym. And he had a men's gym, and so I used to go in early morning and they'd put a curtain up.
She started training with Stan Nichols. She was training in the gym and doing more than the guys were doing. Unbelievable work ethic.
But I would say without any fear of contradiction that Margaret would beat 50% of them in their athletic work.
I think I was often very hard on myself. I was a workhorse. I used to think I had to practice more and train more to improve.
The best ones want to get better. Their brain never stops wanting to get better, and they'll do anything to get better. Most people cannot do that day after day after day.
I don't think there's ever been a female player fitter, maybe some as fit, but she wrote the book.
By the time I retired, I'd won 2 Wimbledons, and then 65, I thought I've had enough of tennis. The travel I didn't enjoy very much. I couldn't go out to dinner with a guy. They had me engaged or married to them, and I never picked up a racket in 2 years. When I came back after being out of tennis for a couple of years, and then I was married, and one of the men players said to me, why don't you go for the Grand Slam? That was a year I knew if I won the Australian, I had that chance of going on and doing well overseas. And I always loved going away being the #1 Australian player. That meant a lot to me. With the French Championships particularly, I always remember my coach saying, Margaret, if you can hit the ball over 100 times in a row, you'll outbeat those European girls. When we were practicing and we'd get to 92 and I'd miss it, he said we'd start all over again.
Game and first set to Mrs. Court by 14 games to 12.
That final was electrifying. You couldn't hear a pin drop on centre court. It was quite airy. You thought, And Billie Jean King and I mean, we had battles. Everybody wanted a Court King final.
That's what you want. That's, it's like championship boxing. That's what you want. But I think when you play against somebody that pushes you, that does bring out the best in both players. And I would think probably sometimes she brought the best in me as well.
Final rally as Margaret Court has ever played at such an important stage would be met.
We had a respect for one another's games. We knew we had to be playing well to beat one another.
She got injections in her ankle, my knee was acting up. Didn't matter, it was dramatic, great match.
And I remember in the quarterfinals, I slipped on the centre court. I'd hurt my ankle.
Margaret Court hasn't moved quicker than that at any time in the match. Remarkable comeback.
But I got through it, that match, and then we had friends, and he was a Harley Street specialist. He said, Margaret, I don't think you can play. Somehow, I don't know why, but I had a feeling that was the year I was going to win the Grand Slam. I think if it had probably been any other year, I may have pulled out. So I remember him putting that injection in, and he said the last 2.5 hours. I knew if that had gone to a third set, I would have lost it, because that's how long the match went for.
Margaret Court takes it for the third time, and this is a moment that she will never forget.
I loved playing for my nation and representing my nation. I feel when I won Wimbledon, it wasn't for me, it was for my nation. And that still brings tears to my eyes. So, you know, you're funny. Sorry, it's still there. But you loved playing for your nation.
Margaret Court and Rosie Casals going against each other for the women's title.
I thought, this is it. Everybody expected me to win it. The last leg, I remember playing Rosie, and I remember getting to a set all. I thought, no, she's never beaten me. Tennis is a game where you can be physically and have so much better game, but it's the mental side of it, and I think that's where often the battle is won. And I remember just saying, no, this is it, I'm going to do it.
It was wide of the line. Margaret Court has won the Grand Slam.
But I always remember at the end of it, I remember thinking, praise God, it's all over.
Margaret wins $7,500, the biggest prize in women's tennis.
When I won the Grand Slam, it was like, I think, a sigh of relief. People think you should be so excited. I used to feel a bit flat. Well, I've achieved it now. And what's my next opponent, or what's the next goal? I always had to have a goal out in front of me.
She was 100% Australian tennis. Big serve, volleying extremely well, fighting till the last ball is played, you know, great physical condition, and dominating the game. Like Rod Laver was dominating the game, you know. She was really dominating the game.
I just enjoyed the game. I enjoyed practicing with the Davis Cup guys. I used to enjoy that so much with Hoppy, and he'd invite me, the only girl on there, and he'd make you work until you nearly dropped.
Great champion, yeah. Probably underestimated now.
I never knew what records I held, even when I was playing. And it wasn't until years and years after I'd finished, that's when I found out I'd won 62 Grand Slams altogether and 24 singles. Even though I looked at them, I'd never added up how many singles I'd won. I never looked at it as how famous you were or how well known you were. It never really impacted me, or I felt any different. I always felt the same. And with me is what you got is what you got.